Here's a fun twist. After 6 months of retirement, I've learned a thing or two. And some lessons were not exactly what I expected. So today I'm spilling the tea on the top 10 lessons I've learned since retiring. Some might surprise you. Some might make you rethink everything you thought about life after work. And one, let's just say it was a wake-up call I didn't see coming. Picture this. You're sipping your morning coffee, watching the sunrise, thinking, this is the life. But then, out of nowhere, it hits you. What am I supposed to do all day? Lesson one, retirement is less about the numbers and more about the mindset. When I first retired, I was staying busy, tackling house projects I'd put off, biking, hiking, and yes, starting this channel to share my journey. Life felt full and exciting, but then winter hit. The outdoor activities I loved weren't an option. The house projects were done, and suddenly I had more unstructured time than I knew what to do with. That's when I realized staying busy isn't the same thing as having purpose. It's not just about filling your days, but finding something that lights you up and gives your life meaning. Part of that for me is connecting with all of you through this channel. What will it be for you? Lesson two, it's easy to underestimate your expenses in retirement, and overspending can sneak up on you if you're not careful. Here's the thing. When you suddenly have all this free time, it's tempting to fill it with things that cost money. Maybe it's dining out more often, picking up a new hobby like golf, or booking multiple dream trips. And then there are the little surprises, like deciding to freshen up a room in your house and finding yourself knee-deep in a full remodel. It's an easy trap to fall into, especially when you're excited about all the possibilities that retirement brings. The key is to build in a fun budget so you can enjoy those things without throwing your long-term plan off track. Now, lesson three, relationships will either thrive or be tested. For my married friends, I've seen retirement bring up some surprising challenges. Imagine suddenly spending all day, every day with your spouse for the first time in decades. It's a big adjustment. You have to figure out how to balance time together with time apart. Some couples nail it by creating separate spaces and individual routines. One friend and his wife developed a brilliant system. Mornings are for individual pursuits and afternoons are for shared activities. Another decided to take up completely different hobbies. He's into woodworking and she's into watercolor painting. But as someone who's single, I've learned that retirement shifts your social dynamics in unexpected ways. Your friends might still be working, your routines change, and you might feel a little disconnected at times. That's why it's so important to nurture your relationships and intentionally build community. Whether it's through clubs, hobbies, church, or just making time to connect with the people who matter most. Don't wait for loneliness to creep in before you reach out. Lesson four, retirement isn't an escape hatch. Whatever habits or issues you had before, they're coming with you. It takes time to adjust and a whole lot of yoga for me to finally let go of that work mentality. If you're holding on to old stress, try working through it now before retirement magnifies it. Here's a question for you. What's your biggest fear about retirement? Is it running out of money, getting bored, or something else entirely? Let me know in the comments. You'd be surprised how many others feel the same way. On to lesson five. You won't figure it all out in the first 6 months, and that's okay. I remember thinking, I'll have this whole retirement thing down by month 3. Spoiler alert, I didn't. I spent weeks trying to fill every minute of my day, only to burn out on relaxing. I finally realized it's a process. You're not going to know exactly what works for you right away, and that's part of the journey. Which brings me to lesson 6. Hobbies aren't just a pastime, they're your lifeline. I can't stress this enough. The happiest retirees I've met have something they're passionate about. And I mean that seriously. The retirees who thrive aren't just killing time, they're investing in passions that give them purpose. For me, it's been creating content for this channel, biking with friends, and learning to garden. The first time I grew my own squash, well, it was better than hitting any corporate goals. Whether it's painting, hiking, or mastering bread baking, find something that lights you up. Lesson 7 is a spicy one. People will have opinions about your retirement.
Why are you spending money on travel when you should be saving it? You're not really retired if you're working part-time. Or you should be invested in this or invested in that.
Trust me, I have heard it all. Everyone suddenly becomes an expert on your life. My response? A smile, a nod, and continue living my best life. You've worked decades to get here. This is your time. Lesson 8 is a reality check. The emotional roller coaster nobody talks about. Here's another raw truth. You might miss work more than you think. Not the deadlines or office politics, but the camaraderie and the sense of accomplishment. I caught myself striking up conversations with random strangers, desperate for that workplace connection. The barista at my local coffee shop probably knows more about my work history now than my actual colleagues did. It's a vulnerability I never expected, which ties into lesson 9. Volunteering or part-time work can be absolute game changers. It's not about replacing your old career. It's about finding new ways to contribute, to stay sharp, to matter. A friend of mine started offering her artistic talents to community projects, and it's been the highlight of her retirement. For me, these videos are a great connection point, but I've seen countless retirees find their groove through meaningful side gigs. And hey, if the travel fund gets a little boost in the process, total bonus. The key is to find something that doesn't feel like work, but feels like passion. Something that gets you out of bed, connects you with people, and reminds you that retirement isn't about stopping. It's about starting something entirely new. Let's talk about the real retirement magic. This is the most important lesson. Retirement isn't about what you do. It's about who you become. This is your chance to live authentically. No more corporate masks, no more fitting into someone else's expectations. You get to rediscover yourself, explore passions that you've put on hold, take risks you never could before. Some days will be messy for sure, but some will be magnificent, and that's perfectly okay. If this hit home, if you've laughed, if you've realized you're not alone in this journey, do me a favor, hit that like button. Share this with someone approaching retirement. Let's create a community of people who are rewriting the retirement rulebook. Remember, retirement isn't the end of your story. It's the start of your next chapter. Make it count.